Welcome to the Burrow. It's your host, Lala Bunny, head trader at Bimbo Trading Academy. And the topic of today's video is I got liquidated. So, my largest account is with Robinhood. And in order to have stocks on margin, you must maintain a balance of over $2,000. And at the end of March, my account fell below the 2,000 and I got a margin call. So, here's what happened next. Let's see. Robinhood sent me a message. This is April 10th. Okay, so I got the margin call and they let me have it for like, I want to say it was a week or two before they even closed my position. So they kind of gave me time to deal with it. Um, and let's backtrack. So in 2024, I took a $2,000 account and turned it into $2,500. So I increased my account and let's see, by more than 20%. I guess it was more like $2,400. No, it was higher than that. Maybe I had a little more in there, but I increased my account by about 20% in 2024. Now, in 2025, I lost, not only did I lose all those gains, but it's actually dropped below. So now my account is at a loss. Like since I've been investing, I'm actually negative. Like, how do I explain this? My balance isn't negative. My rate of return is negative. Um, but I believe it's temporary. It's gonna pop back. It already started popping back. So, okay, April 10th. They said this in the morning. They sent me a message at like 7:30 in the morning. Your brokerage account is in a deficit. Deposit funds or close some of your positions to cover it. If you do not take action, we will take action to cover the deficit. So I didn't know from that time how much time I had. And the answer was just a few hours because by like 11 o'clock, so it was like 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. 4 hours later, they closed my positions. Now, it didn't hurt me that much. I'll explain. So then the message sent was, unfortunately, we had to close some of your positions on your behalf today. To find out which positions we closed, view your brokerage account history here. So actually, they closed my largest positions until they made up for the deficit on the margin call. So it wasn't hard to figure out which ones they closed, and it's really not a big deal. So I can either buy back into those positions or just leave it alone. So unfortunately, it did lock in a loss for me on those three trades, three tickers, but the amount was about like $150, so it's not that bad. I actually have the calculations here. They locked in $142 worth of like losses, so that's that. And they closed out $75 worth of my position, well, about $76 worth of my position. So I was just below by $76. So all they did was like close the top positions until it equaled $76. And that was it. I'm trying to get my filter back. So now I know what Robinhood will do if I have a margin call. I know that they'll give me some time, and I know exactly what they'll do and which positions they'll start with. So I guess they start with your largest position, which totally makes sense because that's just easiest to make up the margin call from that. What else did I figure? Oh yeah, my third position, they didn't close out completely. So like it's not like they okay, let's give an example. Let's say you had 100 shares of Tesla, and in order to make up the margin call, they have to sell off like 75 shares of Tesla for you. But you keep those 25. Like if they don't have to touch it, they'll leave it. It's not like they close your entire position of Tesla no matter what. They only close up until the point of the money that they need to get back. Okay, so what were my positions? The first is sober safe, and it's SOBR. Um, I was in at about three shares at $18 each because some stocks have gone through so many splits. It's like I didn't buy that at 18, but because of all the reverse stock splits it's been through, that's kind of what the average cost basis is now. So I was in at three shares at 18, um, which would have been like $53 worth of stock, but it only closed at $16 worth at $5, 5.50 average per share. So the realized loss on sober was 36.86. So I lost 70% on that stock. The next one, okay, so what am I gonna do with that? I'm just gonna get back in it because it's actually cheaper now than it was before. So It was around $5 when they sold it off for me. Now it's down to like three something. So I'm actually going to be able to get back in at a lower price without losing. So it's fine. It's completely fine. Okay, the next biggest position that they sold off for me was a GTBP, which is GT Biopharma. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And my average cost was $4 per share, but I had 16 shares, and they sold them all at $2.30 per share. So it was 64, I guess like $64 worth that I paid in. I got a credit for 36.80, and my realized loss was 27.7, which is 42%, 43%. So that was that one. And then the other one was Cheetah Net Supply Chain Service. This is a really interesting stock. It's actually the stock I've made the most money on, but I got kind of caught up in it. So I actually lost $77 on this. So I had 16 shares at like $6 each, a little bit more. So it was $100 worth of stock. I was like, it was worth like negative whatever 100. And then credit at close was, I only got $22.80 for that. So they sold it off, all 16 shares at an average of $1.39. And I lost 77.33, which was 77% on that stock. So that's crazy. So again, I can buy back into these stocks and just kind of pick up where I left off. Now, let's talk a little bit about my account. I think that's it for in terms of my notes on this. Let me just double check if I have any other notes. Yeah, I mean those are the basic messages that Robinhood will send you. Yeah. So the point of me sharing this is like I really they sold off $75 worth of stocks of three different stocks in my account, and I lost $142. But there's nothing to do but to keep it moving. So here's a little story about my account. So it was at like $2,500 at the end of March, and I had to sell off like $100 worth of stocks to buy a new phone. And then it kept going down by $50 a day. Like early in the beginning of April, it was just going down by $50. So it would be like 2,450, 2,400, 2,350, 2,300, 2,250. It was just like dropping by $50 a day. And I was like, this is a little odd. Usually it recovers. What my account normally does is drops, it goes up, it drops, it goes up, stays in a certain range. And it just kept dropping by $50 a day. And I was like, okay. Then I got really close to the margin of 2,000. And then with the tariffs and all the speculation, all of a sudden my account tanked, and like it dropped. It went to like 1,900, 1,800, 1,700, 1,600, 1,500, and the lowest it went. So I did nothing. I didn't close any positions. It was exactly like I own like almost 3,000 different stocks, and I kept all my positions, but the value of my positions just went down. Again, it was due to all the tariff speculations. So literally, it was like $500 of my account just disappeared overnight, and or not overnight, over a week or two, because like I said, every day it was getting lower and lower. And yeah, there are people out there who've lost like millions because their account was so big, so they had more to lose. But since my account was small, around 2,000, I didn't have that much to lose. So the lowest it got was 2,000. I want my face back. So the lowest it got was 2,500. And then this week, thank goodness, so it is April, it was 420 the other day. It's April 24th now, Thursday. Thank goodness on Monday it started popping back up. So it went 2,600, 2,700, 2,800. Today across 2,000. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong numbers. 1,000. 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, and today it crossed 1,900 for the first time in weeks. And if I'm lucky, tomorrow, if it crosses back over the 2,000 mark, I'll be out of my margin call and I'll get margin again. And well, technically, I'm out of my margin call. I'm in an account deficit right now. But I can get out of that and I'll have buying power again. So while you're in an account deficit, they don't allow you to open any new positions. So all I've been able to do for these past few weeks is like close out positions, but not open any new positions. But in my Roth IRA, which is a separate account, it's not affected by this. So um I think it's because you don't have leverage. You can't have leverage in a Roth IRA. So my Roth IRA is fine. So if I need to open any new positions, I just do it in that, although that is like a smaller account. But that's been working for me. So this is how I'm surviving a margin call basically. And again, at the end of the day, I lost less than 150 bucks, locked in losses, and I can make those back. So I'm not tripping. And share your story if you went through a margin call or what's happened. If your account, I love this filter. Come on, man. There you go. So definitely share your story if your account, if you lost a lot of money during these past few weeks of April 2025, or if any of your positions got force liquidated. I'm there with you. Again, since my account is small, my losses are small and I'm very diversified. So when the whole market dipped, my whole account dipped. But now that the whole market's coming back up, my account's coming back up and I don't even have to do a thing. It's coming back. So tomorrow's Friday and um typically the market will be lower on a Friday. It just so happens I just noticed how like usually the market will kind of dip on a Friday and then it'll come back up Monday and Tuesday of like the next week. That's just the trend that it has to do with people moving their money, taking money out for they consider the weekend to be a little bit risky because of the type of like international news events that could happen over the weekend. So that affects everything like cost of oil, there's conflicts, like things that are happening. So a lot of, from what I understand, the big institutional investors, like they make changes on Fridays and then on Monday they take the pulse of the market and start putting their money back in the market again. So you might see the market like rise on a Monday and fall on a Friday, but I don't have the stats whether that's 100% true. That's more like anecdotal observation. And that's since I've been investing, which has only been about 2 years. So yeah, I'm hoping to cross that. I'll update you if I'm back in business, baby. If I get over 2000 again, I'll get all my leverage back. I won't have to close any more positions. Everything will pretty much be good. And then I'll start trying to funnel money into my account and bring it above that level again. Really, I just had to pay bills. And it's the only reason why I got so close to the danger zone. But again, recovering from $150 loss, no big deal. Got to keep it moving. And I can't wait to see what happens this year because it's a wild time. It's the wild, wild west out here. No one really knows what's going to happen with these markets. Um, I will say that, like, my one advice is, like, don't be afraid of Chinese stocks. I have no problem purchasing Chinese stocks. And that's because, like, if something's happening in America, they're not always affected by that. So, like, it's good to be diversified internationally. There's Brazilian stocks, there's stocks from India. Those are some of the big ones. But you can search by country on Robinhood. Oh my God, I'm going on for a while. I'm going to have to end this video. So, the point is that Robinhood force sold off some of my positions, but it wasn't too bad. And if I'm able to recover, I'll be able to get right back on track. So, catch you next time. Happy trading. Does my tongue look white? Ah, that's not my real tongue. That's the filter. Bye, y'all.